Well, hello there, and welcome back. So, for the lesson today, we're going to do lots of fun stuff, and I want to actually launch a new instance for it. So we're going to launch an instance, and I'm going to call this Let's Begin. And once again, I'm always choosing Amazon Linux. It's just easier. I mean, I could do Red Hat, a lot of others, so they should work with what I'm doing. SUSE and Debian, just the update in Ubuntu, that those are a little different, but still a lot of this stuff should work. And it's good to experiment and play with others. So let's see. Let's get my key pair in there. And I already have a security group that I'm using. Remember, don't use your default. Use the one that you've tweaked. Launch Wizard 1, and I'm going to do advanced details because I'm just going to make this have a web page that I can hit because I think I'll need it later. So this is just user data. This is going to run when the instance starts. It's going to install Apache's HTTPD. It's going to start it. It's going to enable it. It's going to, why do I think it's supposed to be, oh, that's right, well, system control start. Why do I think it's http.service? Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, this should be enough to get it up and going. We're going to echo this as junk into the index.html so that we can hopefully see it. Go ahead and launch that instance. And it doesn't launch immediately, but it's pretty quick. So I should be able to click here and get the public DNS. And let's see if it's up. And it is. It's pretty fast. Now, just for kicks, I'm going to do sudo netstat-tnlp, and let's see if the web is up. And it looks like it is on port 80, and we're not doing secure. So HTTP's these there. So I could also probably come up here and just paste in this, and it should say, let's see, HTTPS. Maybe I do have to say index.html. Maybe I don't let it say that by default. So, let's look at and see if, yeah, I don't need that for today, but I think it's just still starting, but we'll see. We'll see. So we should see that this is junk. That's what I put in there. We'll come back to that. We'll see if it starts up. But we're going to be doing a lot of stuff as root today, and I'm always torn because it's easier just to sudo su. So sudo su dash, and then you become root. A lot of big organizations don't allow that because it makes it harder to track. You can still track who it actually was. So a lot of organizations don't allow that. And they give you sudos for specific things you need to do. So we're going to do sudo group. By the way, sudo, once again, is switch user and do. And this is switch user and do switch user, which just switches user, and then dash is read the login scripts. Since we didn't give a username, this logs in as root. Okay, that's why we were root. Sudo switch user and do, and we're going to do groupadd aloha, and we're going to do sudo useradd, and we're going to do a lowercase g, aloha, for mahalo. And we're going to do that same thing for Hawaii. And let's do all of us. In fact, let's change this one to uppercase G. Okay, so, and we could actually cat, let's just do a tel-n5 etc groups. Now, sudo, actually, what am I doing? Sudo. I think we need its etc group. My brain's not working. There we go. Okay, so we can see there's a group for Apache that's created, Aloha, and all of us, but I actually created Mahalo, Hawaii, and all of us. So Mahalo and Hawaii don't exist there. And if I look at etc passwd, I can see here that the Mahalo user is 101, 102. Hawaii is 102, 101. So this one, it created the user, but it didn't create a group for it. But I'm surprised that this is a change that was made within a year. Because this I used to be able to get off pretty easy. But yeah, 103. So this set the group, all of us, the same as the user ID. Cool. So we have the groups that were created and the accounts, the users. Okay, so let's become Hawaii. So I can sudo su-Hawaii, and that'll work. Okay, now I'm going to exit out of this because I want to also show you exit. I'm really having a hard time typing today. And I could have sudo su dash and became root, and then I don't have to sudo when I'm root. I just su dash Hawaii. Okay, I'm going to exit out of those though, because I do think it's best whenever possible to do it as your own user, not as root. Okay, so I'm Hawaii again. Sweet. Now if I do an ls-ltrh, I can see there's quite a few things here, especially that are bash. And if we more.b star, we can see what's in here. So bash history, bash logout, bash profile, and then bash rc. And it looks like most of the stuff is in bash rc. Okay, so these are things, these are files you should be familiar with. If you look here at bash rc, you have the paths being set, you have user-specific aliases and functions set, so you can put some stuff in here if you wanted to. Okay, so let's set up, so if we look again, ls-ltrh, it doesn't have a .ssh folder because it's never logged into anything before. So we're going to actually create a key for this user. So the way we create a key for the user is ssh-keygen, and it's going to set it by default in its home directory as Hawaii, and it says, is that okay? Yes, we're going to leave it at the default. And it creates the directory first with the proper permissions. That's one of the reasons I like to do it with ssh-keygen. Enter passphrase, so I'm going to leave it blank. That's not recommended, but that's okay for learning purposes. Leaving it blank again so it'll let me go, and it should have created it. So now if I do an ls-ltrh, I can see there's a .ssh folder there. With the .ssh folder, I can ls.ssh, and I can see the stuff that's there, and I can do ls-ltrh on .ssh, and I can see the permissions. Okay, so the permissions matter greatly with these. If the private key is too open, it'll tell you you've broken the standard. We're not going to allow it to work. So permissions matter for the folder, for each of these files. Just be careful with permissions. Now, we check to make sure the authorized key doesn't exist. I teach Linux a lot. One of the things, anytime I have like an SSH keygen in one of my videos and they're following through it, sometimes they run it on their local system and they overwrite their keys, and now they've lost them. and they can't get into any of the systems that they've created. I mean, there's workarounds, but I don't teach those. I want them to learn the lesson, not to overwrite their keys. Okay, so I'm here, and if I want to be able to log in with Hawaii using this key right here, the easiest way to do this and test this is I usually just move ID underscore RSA. Come on. Oh, I'm not in .ssh. cd.ssh. Move ID underscore RSA dot pub into authorized underscore keys. Okay? Because the public key, authorized key is just a list of all the public keys that can log in as the user. So I moved that public key into authorized keys, and now we can, if we cat authorized keys, we can see it there. And that public key is the public thing for the cipher with the private key. Now I'm going to show you the private key because I'm just going to be deleting it. So here's the private key. So these are better than passwords, but you do still have to manage them. You should still rotate them, and sometimes if a box gets hacked, you have to change all of them too, because that just gives them it gives hackers access. Okay, if I want to test this, I'm not going to exit. I'm going to go back to the home directory. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I can just SSH to localhost. Now, usually you have the username, but I'm already the user Hawaii, so I don't need to do that. And I want to test it against myself. So I can just hit enter. And it's saying, hey, looks okay. Do you want to continue? Yes. And connected. Cool. So I've tested that key pair and it works. Now, one of the things that's weird is I'm now logged in as Hawaii, sudoed from EC2 user. So it's weird. I'm 3 levels deep. So I started out as EC2-user. I became with sudo su-Hawaii. And then I logged into the same box with SSH localhost, which made me Hawaii. Okay? Now, these aren't actually commands. I'm going to Control-C this. I just wanted to show you that was kind of the process. So we're right here. So if I exit out of Hawaii, I'm still going to be my sudo Hawaii. So I can exit, and you can see I'm still Hawaii. Here, actually, let me go back up. SSH localhost. Because if I say, who am I? It says Hawaii. If I say who mom likes, it says Hawaii. If I exit and come back to the sudoed environment, I do who am I, it says Hawaii. If I say who mom likes, it says EC2 user. Okay? Exit. Well, let's see. Yeah, we're going to exit because I want to do the rest of this, I think, as EC2 user. Okay, so I'm going to do this as EC2 user. You could do it as Hawaii. You could do it as whatever user you create. It doesn't matter. Unless you're turning in an assignment, then make sure you follow what's in the assignment. So I'm going to create a file so that we can play a little bit with it. So let's create a big file. So for number in one dot, we'll do 1 2 3 4 9s. Do echo my score. Oh, I should probably quote this. Echo my score is, and since we'll have some fun, $, random, into So we do 2 so that it doesn't overwrite. Grade.text. Done. Okay, so we should be able to, we could cat grade.text and we can see a lot of stuff here. Cool. In fact, if we wc-l grade.text, we can see that it did the 999, 9,999 lines that we asked it to do. Cool. Let's come up here, and if you see, we can have, it doesn't have to be on different lines, okay? So if we go up, it shows our little for loop that we wrote, and we can actually just change this instead of grade to number. So now if I do ls-ltrh, I can see there's my grade and there's my number. Sweet. They're the same size, roughly. If I got rid of human ls-ltra, they're slightly different because of the random, right? Okay. So you can see they're different sizes. I'm going to tar these up, okay? So I want to tar, create a tar. I'm going to gzip, let's make it smaller. So tar just puts together gzips it, which just kind of squishes it down so it's small. I'm going to make it verbose so I can see what it's doing. And F, is the file name of the tar I'm creating. So I'm going to just call this my tar.tgz. And then I need to tell it what I'm going to tar. Let's grab grade.text and number, and let's do .ssh directory as well. Okay. That's probably good. So I have this file now, and sometimes, which if you notice, it's actually smaller than the original because text gets really small really easy. Let's split this up though. Split dash, and we'll break it up by 25k. 25k. My tar.gzz, and I always like to do my tar.gzz again because it's the preference, the prefix, so it doesn't just call it ABC and stuff. So now if we do ls-ltrh, I have my tar AC, AA, AB, and AC. Okay, and the last one is smaller than 25 because it's what was left over. Cool. So I have those 3 chunks. Now I could put those chunks back together. I could put those chunks back together, but I'm not going to. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's do it. So to put them back together, we do cat mytar.gzz. And we can just do a star, and it'll do it in alphabetical order. And we're going to put that into fixed.tgz. Now if I look at these, I can actually do a SHA-512 sum on my tar.tgz. I can see the sum on that. And I can do the same thing on fixed.tgz, and if there's no issues, they should be the same. And they are. Happy day. So I usually look at the first part and the last part. Ideally, you should check the whole thing. But yeah, we can see that it is identical. Cool. If I just put one little extra thing in there or change something up or to lower, it drastically changes things. So you can't. The SHA-256 sum is to check the hash to see if it's been changed or if they're the same. And these are the same. Cool. we need to learn some web things. So we've already done these earlier, but let's man wget. And I think it's the -e. -e. So one of the things that in fact, let's just go to the very end. Shift-G. So at the very end, sometimes if I scroll up just a little bit, I'm hitting the K to go up. Yeah. So it here gives you some options. So this talks about trying to repeat a bug. I guess I can scroll even with my wheel to scroll up. Sometimes there's some example commands. Right here's one. So in the past, this option was best for downloading a single page and its requisites. That's kind of what I want to do using a command line. So that is what I want to do. So I usually don't do ignore tags or area. We'll use this though. So a single page and its requisites. If you're ever using wget or curl, you really should understand what these all are. So I'm going to look at H, K, K, and R. Okay, so H is right here. Span hosts, enables spanning across hosts and doing recursive retrieving. So it's going to recursive retrieve potentially. So K and K is going to be up, and R. Where is it up? Yeah. K, backup converted. When converting a file, backup the original with an orig. Okay. Convert links, so it'll be usable. And R is going to be recursive. Maximum depth is 5. I usually like to do one page, so I don't think I usually do the R. Well, yeah, I'm going to get rid of that R. One of the reasons I want to get rid of the R is because I only actually want one page and its resources. So let me grab. I also usually do -e robots equals off. I do a P and an X sometimes. Well, let's try this one. And let's grab. I wonder if this came back. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. Let's grab. What's a simple site? Just AP News. Not simple, but. So apnews.com. So we're going to do https:// it just says apnews.com. I'm just going to double check that. Yep, there's no www. Enter. Went there and got the indexed. I don't think that got everything that I wanted. wget hst index.html. There's an index.html orig. Oh, it has the original and then it does the tweaking of it to have the style sheets and images is what it should be, but it didn't grab everything. So usually I want people to be really careful when they're using the wget command. The command I usually use, let me grab this one, is this. So if I do the same thing, in fact, I'm gonna get into a new folder first. mkdir AP News, cd AP News, and paste that again, and https apnews.com. Yeah, I think they're blocking wget. So if we cat index.html, it's probably going to say something about not allowing oh, maybe not. But yeah, this is HTML. So granted, it's harder to read. Let's see. So ls-ltrh, so that got just the index. It did not grab the style sheets or the images. So usually I want my students to grab everything. And then tree it. Now, one more thing I want to make sure every system admin remembers is, oh, before I do this. So we have our mytar.tgz. Let's just download that. So if I exit, and I hit the up arrow, I come back here and I want to copy, secure copy, something from somewhere. The something is up on my server, so I need to log into my server first, mytar.tgz. And where do I want to copy it? I'm just going to say here, dot. And there it goes. And so if I do an ls, in fact, I'll do an ls-l, my tar.tgz, and we can see it's there. Happy day. Cool. We did a lot. In fact, history. We did a lot. So hopefully this will help you get further on your journey of learning Linux. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.